I've been sitting here for the last 5 minutes trying to speak French in the intro. I just need you guys to know I really did try, but nothing came out like I wanted it to.
Bienvenue dans vos Nordiques québécois.
Bienvenue de vos Québécois? Am I even close? I don't even know if my mouth works like that. What's going on, guys? And welcome back to your Quebec Nordiques. Sorry, let me try it again. Welcome back to your Quebec Nordiques franchise mode. See, I caught myself there. I might not be able to speak French for the life of me, but I do know the difference between Quebec and Quebec, thanks to you guys in the comments. What's going on, and welcome back. In the previous episode, we went ahead and we looked around the NHL at all of the created players for the franchise mode. Now, there was a lot of people who were just basically happy with it, and there's no real complaints, but obviously you're never going to make everyone happy. I know this, you're never going to be able to please everyone. There was a few people in the comments. Some things were just small, like I should have made Sundin a right defenseman. I don't know how big of a deal that actually is. We got guys like Ninja Hurdle, who's pretty happy about bringing back Chichu, the Chichu train, absolute legend, Mr. 56 goals, thanks Joe Thornton. But I will admit, and I admitted it last episode, we messed up. Well, not we, I messed up with the New York Islanders. I should have gave them a forward. I should have gave them a defenseman, but instead I gave them a goalie, a backup goalie, it looks like. They're playing Varlamov over him. He has yet to have a win in Long Island. Quinn Bossy, he's 0-2. Oh man, if I could go back, I would have made Bossy a defenseman or a forward, but you know what? It is what it is. We can't go back now. We're already started, so unfortunately, if your favorite player didn't make it in the franchise mode, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Peter in the comments, he says Zuccarello played with Derek Boogaard during the Rangers 2010-2011 season. Gotta be special for him to play with his former teammate's son. That's awesome. I didn't even realize that. The storylines, they write themselves. Now, there was a ton of movement in the NHL, and I didn't get any trade notifications, so I was a little bit confused. And there was an answer in the comments. A bunch of you guys let me know, but WolfXP, he had the highest rated comment. He says, you didn't turn on add a contract year for the settings. That's why players who will be going into free agency at the end of this year already went onto new teams. So I guess that makes sense. So that's why Markstrom is on Buffalo, and there's a few other players that got traded around. I think Hoffman's on New Jersey now or something. A bunch of random moves happened. Fortunately, it wasn't super crazy. There was no one groundbreaking. I mean, those guys are good players, but I mean, Jack Eichel didn't switch teams. The NHL only shook up a little bit. Now, having a look at our team here, Caden in the comments, he says, I've seen Blaze turn into a first liner in almost every franchise mode. Now, that's super promising for us. I would love to work Blaze. I would love for Sammy Blaze, the Quebec kid, to become our first liner. I mean, maybe not take over the beast himself, Conrad Stastny, but I would like for him to mature and grow into a legitimate top 6 player for us. So I think playing him on the third line right now with fellow Quebecer Matthew Perreault is going to be a good option. I'll pair it alongside Tanner Pearson. Now, our team, I'm not expecting anything crazy this year. This guy says he predicts 35 wins, a bubble team. I don't even think we're going to be that close. Our defense really isn't great, but again, it's year number 1, so we don't really have a ton of expectations. But if we come along maybe 2-3 months and we're really not doing that great, morale is down, guys aren't happy, we're not going to hang on to guys like Ryan McDonough, who have a ton of trade value, might I add, which is awesome, but 6 years left at 6.7 at 30 years old. I wouldn't mind getting rid of a guy like Ryan McDonough, especially if we can get another first, and I know this. And obviously the next year's draft is pretty stacked. We can go into the 2020 draft with 3 seconds, 2 thirds, and 3 firsts. I would absolutely love that. I can't see us becoming a legitimate playoff team. Maybe we will, maybe potentially, maybe we're gonna get that Vegas luck, but I think Ryan McDonough's time on this team is limited. I don't think we're going to be hanging on to him for the entirety of this franchise, especially not with a contract like that. So this this video isn't going to be super long like the previous ones, maybe half an hour max. As I say, it's probably going to be like an hour video. I always do that, but I don't want to go too fast too soon with this franchise mode. We want to work it through the draft. We want to build through free agency. We want to get our young guys up here. I especially want to build our prospect pool, because right now, something I neglected in our Toronto franchise mode, which we still have to finish up. I promise it's on its way, but I want to make sure that the American Hockey League team is good. And right now we're not. You can see we have a bunch of 50 overalls, 40 overalls. I mean, these guys should be playing in some German C League, maximum Hakajaka. He should not be on this team. 48 overall, no thank you. We need to build up our prospect pool. Our goalie's good, and obviously we have Nas here coming into just a terrible team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sign a bunch of players in free agency. Maybe not an entire roster, because all those players that are playing down there are on one-year deals, so they're going to be expiring at the end of this year. Just a bunch of guys like this. 65 overall, young, power forward. This guy's probably from Quebec. He's got a very Quebec name, Cedric Pear. Right now, having a bunch of 50 overall guys really isn't the way I want to build our team. Nas is not going to grow properly if he doesn't have proper players to play with, so we're going to go ahead and give him some more help down there. Let me sign maybe 6 or 8 players down for the American Hockey League. Nothing too crazy. I just want to give them a little bit of help. Cole Castles, Vancouver Canucks legend. All right, so a bunch of players have been signed, and there's actually kind of a fun one. I'm not going to spoil it until he signs, but it's kind of interesting that we got this player in free agency. But we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of simulation done before all those players sign, and then we can make sure our AHL team is all but good to go. The first matchup against the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's a new rivalry in town. No longer is it Toronto-Montreal. It's Toronto-Quebec, baby. Let's go. In front of your home fans in the poutine place. Toronto's in the building. It's half Leaf fans, half Quebec fans, just like it is in every single away arena. The Leaf fans always represent. I know when I go to games in Vancouver, it's like 60% Leaf fans. It is ridiculous. Definitely a very strong support for the away team, but period number 1, we're on the power play. 5 goals in the first. Okay, Sundin and Tavares. Imagine those two guys playing together. Sundin, Tavares, they get goals, and then Atkinson, Sammy Blais, the Quebec boy, and then Richard Panik get 3 unanswered. There you go. Take that, Toronto. Period number 2. It was a wild first. We're going to see a wild second. No, Alex Kerfoot on the power play, as the shots are pretty even, 23 apiece. Come on, boys. You cannot lose to the Leafs. Austin Matthews, a power play goal from just before the blue line. That's their second power play goal of the game. Kerfoot got the 3-3 goal on the power play. Matthews has the go-ahead goal. We've had 3 shots in the last couple minutes, but Matthew Perreault, the Quebec-born kid, I guess he's not a kid anymore, looking like he's been living in a cave for the last 13 years. Going into overtime, you guys know the drill. If we go into a shootout, we definitely have to slow sim that. Are we going to go to penalty kicks? Are we going to do it? Yeah, baby, a shootout. Let's go. It's throwback night here in Quebec. We got the St. Pat's versus the purple jerseys for your Quebec Nordiques, and UC Saros stand strong. Oh man, here comes Conrad Stastny with the leg kick. One too many moves. The bubble shield can't help him here. Look at those purple jerseys. Here comes Austin Matthews, little 1-2, but UC Saros with the purple pads. We got to have a closer look at those things. Hold on. I spent a good 15 minutes on the goaltender's gear here, so you guys better appreciate it. Look at this guy's setup here. Ooh, UC Saros looking good, buddy. Oh my god, the mask, we got to work on that, but UC Saros looking good. I'm a fan of the purple. Alternate jerseys are supposed to be crazy. Like the alternate jerseys for the Leafs, they don't match the Leafs. They don't match the blue and white. I think alternate jerseys should be exciting. They should be fun. They should be different. I went with the purple. I took a chance, and here comes Cam Atkinson in said purple. He's an assistant captain, tries the Datsuk flip. Oh my god, a little bit too tight though. Here comes Mitch Marner. He can put the pressure on with a goal, and oh my god, beats UC Saros upstairs. The game is on your stick. Patrick Hornquist. All of Quebec is watching, and you put it into the goalie's stick. Not a fantastic effort, but we did get the point, which is always nice. Matthew Perreault scored a goal with like 5 seconds left to force it into overtime. We go to penalty kicks, and unfortunately, we can't score a goal in the shootout. All right, so a bunch of players should be signing here for our AHL team. Some guys are younger than others. I wanted to get a bunch of guys who are less than 25, who miraculously, if things go well, if everything goes well, maybe they can grow into players that can actually play for the Quebec Nordiques. But Morgan Klimchuk, 24 years old, not bad at all. I guess he's the only player that didn't take any time to review the contract. He's just like, yep, I'm coming to Quebec, boom, sign on the dotted line. Love to see it. Curtis McDermott, he's a big, tough defenseman. This guy also says yes. This guy says yes as well. Is that guy going back to the WHL though? I saw the Portland Winterhawks logo there. Jens Luke or Locke, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. There should be a few more. Hunter Shinkarik, Canucks legend, Spencer Smallman, another good forward, and Reed Duke. That was the player that I wanted to mention because he was the first ever player ever taken by the Vegas Golden Knights. He goes from one expansion team to another here in Quebec, so that's kind of funny. Reed Duke, I remember he was the only player on the Vegas Golden Knights for months. I remember they signed him. I don't even know if he's good or not, to be honest with you. I don't know if he's going to be like an NHLer, but they signed him as like the first player, and he was the only player until the expansion draft. Took a long time. Ryan McInnes, son of Al McInnes, fun fact. Cole Sherwood's actually not a bad prospect, only 22 years old. Ryan Lomberg, there you go. I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name. Gavin Bayreuther, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Cole Castles, Canucks legend. All right, here they are. Here's everyone. Cedric Pear, I guess, is going back to Rimouski. That's fine. Are we going to beat the Hawks? Griffin Reinhardt decides to sign. A bunch of other guys here. Andreas Borgman, who's only 24 years old. There's no players to really write home about, but I think that should be everyone. Now our AHL team is not going to be such an embarrassment as we did beat the Blackhawks there. Let me go ahead and put everyone. Ooh, look at Nas. Look at Nas. 4 points in 8 games. Offensive D-man. What's up? Do a little bit of before and after here. Here's the before, and here is the after for your Quebec City Bulldogs. Now, there's a player named Smith, Giovanni Smith, who I would like to put in here. Sorry, his name is Giovanni. He's actually a second-round pick, only 21 years old, 66 overall. I'd love to play him, but in every line I play him on, it gives them a minus. Even if I would like to change some things up, like if I was to go here and then go you there, it still gives them a minus there, where it gives everyone else a +1. So Giovanni Smith might be going down to the East Coast here if I can't get a +1 on the 4th line. Might have to give it to Michael Carconi, who again, coincidentally, is also a Canucks legend, plays with a Canucks legend. I could make a whole Canucks legend line here with Hunter Shinkarik, Cole Castles, and Michael Carconi. Let's do that just for fun. But there's the AHL team looking much better than before. We got Nasir McLeod with Big Bad Curtis McDermott, Andreas Borgman, Dylan Hetherington, Connor Carrick, Gavin Bayreuther, and then between the pipes we got 77 overall Charlie Lindgren. So now that that's all taken care of, we're all good to go. Let's get some simulation done, see where this team's going to end up. Conrad Stastny has 8 points in his first 7 games. You absolutely love to see it. Now we got Bugard versus Conrad Stastny. This one could be a good rivalry. 2 big tough dudes on the first line. Here we go. Period number 1, and it's 1-1. Ryan Donato and Patrick Hornquist didn't have it in them to score in the shootout to keep the game going the other night, but he gets one in the first. Period number 2. Ooh, 4-1. Kevin Fiala, Jason Zucker, and Zach Parise. Oh, we make it interesting. Adam Fox scores a big one. That might be his first career goal. And then Matthew Perreault makes it close, but unfortunately, we fall 1 goal short to the Minnesota Wild, who had a huge second period, 3 goals, and we could not come back from that. All right, let's get a month of simulation done. I don't see any teams we should be slow simming here. No games against Montreal, none of that. Anaheim, and we lose. All right, Chris Tanev for basically 2 seconds, and we get a 4th. That's going to be an easy reject. No thank you, Edmonton. 4-3 loss. Chris Tanev for 2 seconds, and you don't give me your 4th? That's a worse offer than what you just sent me. What are you thinking? No thank you. We're actually 6-5-2. A big 1-0 shutout. Back-to-back 1-0 shutouts. Holy, the boys are buzzing right now. We're winning games. We're 9-5-2. Okay, all right. Oh my God, 10-5-2, 11-5-2. Oh my God, this? Is a crazy little winning streak we got going on here. And then we lose back to back, 3 straight losses. But that was a nice little winning streak there at the start of November. Ended up spanking the Panthers 5-1, and then we just went on a tear. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins in a row. That is officially the franchise's longest winning streak. You love to see it. All right, here you go, 13-7-3. Just ended up beating Quinn Bossy and the New York Islanders, but I think I saw something kind of crazy, and that is the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have lost 4 times in the regular season. I think I saw that right. 2 regulation, 2 overtime losses, 44 points. Look at Conrad Stastny putting the team on his back. 31 points in 25 games. I am interested to see how quick and how often he is going to grow. I know 90 overall at 20 years old, having the franchise potential. The limit is pretty much endless. He can be 99 or he can stay at 90. I'm not sure how it's going to work. However, he is a power forward, so I'm interested to see how he is going to grow. But 53 penalty minutes. What a guy. Cam Atkinson, Patrick Hornquist. This looks like a pretty decent first line. Adam Henrique, Richard Panik, Tanner Pearson, McDonough, Smith, Larson, Adam Fox. Fox has 12 points. Not a bad rookie year. He's got 12 points in 25 games. Sammy Blais has 11. All right, Jake McCabe, Grabner, Devontae Smith-Pelly, John Moore, Sammy Niku. Having a look at the tendies here just for fun. Let's see how, where is he? See how, ooh, look at that. James Reimer is actually 8-2. So UC Saros, I don't know what's going on there, but you might be losing your starting minutes here to James Reimer, who's 8-2. Okay. UC Saros does have 2 shutouts, but save percentage and goals against for Mr. Reimer here. Optimus Rhyme, as he was called in Toronto. There you go. Looking pretty damn good. But that's nothing to Vasilevsky's 16-2. Okay. Here's a look at the entire league. Ooh, boy, look at all those points being scored. 36 for Connor McDavid and Brad Marchand. Sebastian Aho right behind him. Jason Hall, he is the best creative player so far, 35 points. Right behind him, teammate Ryan O'Reilly with 34. There's Anthony Ward, who I will... And then we got Anthony Ward here with 33. I'm surprised no Gretzky or Agent C. Oh, there's actually Gretzky right there. But I want to say something about Aaron Ward. I think I said in the last video that he retired with the Hawks. He technically retired with the Carolina Hurricanes. He ended up signing a 1-day contract, so technically he retired with the Hurricanes, but he did play his last career game with the Chicago Blackhawks. So many players over a point per game. It's ridiculous. Conrad Stastny right in the mix. One of the better rookies, actually. This is definitely the best rookie class of all time, no questions asked. Look who's right behind Stastny. Chubbs, baby. Valery Chubby Chubasov, what a guy. So I don't really know what to make of our team, really, because we had that 8-game winning streak that kind of propelled us into a playoff spot. Now, if we're going to be a playoff team in year number 1, maybe we should start thinking about potentially being maybe a buyer at the trade deadline, but it's still pretty early. It's still early on. I don't know if we should set anything in stone quite yet, because we could go ahead and lose a whole bunch of games in a row as we just lost 2 straight. 2 seconds for Danny DeKaiser. Absolutely not. Never going to happen. And then we win 1 and then lose 7-1 against the Habs, which I should have slow simmed. What am I doing? That was my bad. And that's our first ever meeting too. I really messed that one up. I got too busy chatting. I should have slow simmed that one. We lose 7-1. All right. So in previous franchise modes, we've kept a tally on our all-time records with teams. I want you guys in the comments to go ahead and get that thing going. We are now 0-1 against the Habs, and the goals, 7 for the Habs, 1 for the Nordiques. It's not good enough. When do we play them next? Okay, we don't play them that often, it looks like, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. Maybe we'll slow sim up to this game on the 21st. Maybe. I know it's a lot of simulation. And then do we play them anymore? Really, for a team in the same province, I feel like you should be playing them a little bit more than twice a year. I know Edmonton and Calgary play more than twice a year, that's for sure. Up against the Sedin twins, no, not Daniel and Henrik, Johan and Oscar. In Vancouver, Quebec is in the building, period number 1. It's 1-1. Oscar Sedin and Richard Panic. It's going to take a while. Every time I see the Sedin name, I always want to say Daniel or Henrik. I know I'm going to mess that up 10 or 11 more times. Period number 2. Okay, 3-1 EP and Bo Horvat. We're out shooting them like crazy, but they only have 14 shots and 3 goals. I don't know what's going on here. John Moore, shorthanded. You love to see it. What a guy. Closing in on 40 shots. Can we tie up the hockey game here in Vancouver? We are peppering Thatcher Demko with all the pucks in the world. He is standing tall, a brick wall. Anton Roussel gets the empty netter. That is high on the list of things you hate to see. Oh boy. All right, here come the losses. That is 5 in a row. Is it going to be 6? There's 6. Oh boy, here's where it all falls down. The middle of December. Yikes. A 7-3 loss, and then 2 back-to-back wins. Okay, 3-0 and 7-2, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 L's in a row. That's a yikes. I really wish we played Montreal more. That's really annoying. All right, up against Toronto. We'll slow stem the game against the Hawks. There's another win, 3 in a row. And then we got Mika Makita versus Conrad Stastny. I want to have a look around the NHL actually to see how teams are doing with their new superstar. Period number 1 against Mika Makita, and it's 2-1. Conrad Stastny, baby, and Sammy Blais, Quebec boys. Even though Stastny's not technically from Quebec, he's from Czechoslovakia. John Quinville scores on UC Saros for being outshot like crazy, but we do have the lead going into the second. The lead is still ours. We are still being outshot, and Connor Murphy scores on UC Saros, tying the game up at 2. Saskatchewan Stag legend Connor Murphy, might I add. Going into potentially overtime, are we going to see another shootout against the Hawks? Mika Makita versus Stastny. Jake McCabe scores on Colin D'Elia. Is that going to be the GWG? Is that going to be it? Is that going to be the one? A come-from-behind victory. That is now 3 straight for your Quebec Nordiques. Or is that 4 straight? I know we won 2, 3, 4. That's 4 straight after losing 6 straight. So an interesting team is what we have here. Very, very interesting. So currently we are 5th in the Atlantic with 41 points. The Lightning are just in a league of their own with 58. Is there anyone better than the Lightning? Doesn't look like it. However, the Hurricanes and the Devils are having themselves quite a year, 53, 52 points each. The Avalanche are looking good with Zane Sakic, that mutant on the second line center, 6'8", 260 pounds. I think January is going to be a very important month for us. It's basically going to be nut up or shut up. This is going to be the month that's going to decide if we're going to make a playoff push or if we're probably just going to be, like that comment said, maybe a bubble team. Not quite a team that's going to be in the bottom of the standings, but just a bubble team, which in year 1 isn't a great place to be. Here's a look at the Quebec City Bulldogs. Andreas Borgman has 25 points in 30 games. Not bad at all. So since we got a bunch of new players, they kind of turned it around a little bit. 14, 20, and 2 isn't great. Things are kind of looking up down there in Quebec City. So like I said, this is going to be the month that determines whether we're going to be a playoff team or maybe we're going to be a bubble team. It's kind of weird. We can win 5 or 6 games straight and then we can lose 5 or 6 as well. We're streaky in like the wrong way. After we beat Buffalo 7-2, take that, Alexander Hasek, between the pipes, boom, 7 goals and then a 4-0 win. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? This really isn't helping me right now because we're winning 2, we're losing 1, we're winning 2, we're losing 1, we're winning 4, we're losing 2. It's not really giving me like an exact direction on where our team's going to be going because right now I don't think we're in a playoff spot. 24, 19, and 3. It doesn't look like it. Oh, actually we are. 51 points. So we are technically in a playoff spot. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up until the end of January as we get another win in the books. Another win for your Quebec Nordiques. We're going to go all the way up here against the Bruins. We're going to get this month done as we get offered Nate Schmidt, another expensive defenseman. We don't need him. Thank you, but no thank you. We lose up against Arizona, and it looks like we are going... Ooh, we got trade. All right, Ottawa gets 2 seconds, and Anaheim gets Justin Schultz. It's a pretty big move. Nate Schmidt again, no thank you. Up against a really, really good team here in Boston. Let's go. Period number 1. Nathan Orr versus Conrad Stastny. Let's go. And it's 4-1. Henrique, Adam Fox, Zach Smith, Matthew Perreault get goals for us, but Nathan Orr, there he is. He gets the one for the Boston Bruins going into the second. 4-2. Charlie McAvoy. Are we going to hold the lead going into the third? Boy, do we ever. Zach Smith, Matthew Perreault, and Michael Grabner all get goals in the third. DeBrusk and Anders Bjork get 2 for them, but that was a wild one. The Bruins have a really, really good record, and we basically handled them pretty easy there. So 26, 20, and 3. What the hell are we? I was hoping we were either going to completely run the table that month or just completely suck. We won more games than we lost. We've kind of set ourselves up that we might have to go towards the playoffs here. 55 points. We just beat the Bruins, who are one step above us with 62 points. We have a comfortable lead on the Leafs. I mean, do we go for it? 50 games in, what do we do? Now, I know the year 2 draft is stacked. I know that. So, I mean, getting as many first-round picks wouldn't be a bad thing. But if we're going to be a playoff team, maybe Vegas gave us that luck. Maybe that's all we need. Just that first-year Vegas luck. And it looks like the second-year Golden Knights are not as good as the first year. Bottom of the Pacific Division. You hate to see it. Let's do a little look around the NHL here real quick. Let's see what all the boys are up to. Conrad Stastny doing big things on the first line. 117 penalty minutes, guys. A bit of a goon. Cam Atkinson with 41. Hornquist with 37. Henrique, Richard Panik, 32 and 33 apiece. And then it kind of falls off there. Sammy Blais actually jumped up a little bit. 28 points in 49 games. Our best defenseman is Mac Truck on the back end. Ryan McDonough. Matthew Perreault with 14 Genos. That's good to see. Zach Smith with 11. Interesting. Adam Fox here, 81 overall still, 20 points in almost 50 games. Exact same thing with Adam Larson, Michael Grabner, Jake McCabe, Nick Patan. Now, the thing is, I don't want to go ahead and make a trade for a top 6 winger right now going into the postseason. My goal isn't to win a Stanley Cup. That's not my goal. The Vegas Golden Knights were set up a little bit better than us because they could trade during the expansion draft. They had that luxury where we didn't, unfortunately. I don't know if we should go the Vegas route and get some players for the playoff run, because I don't know if we're going to make a deep run. That's not that I don't have confidence. It's just that our roster, I mean, I guess it is I don't have any confidence. Our roster doesn't look like it's a Stanley Cup roster. So for year number 1, I usually don't make a ton of moves, and I don't think I'm going to in the next episode leading up to the postseason, but who knows? Maybe if you guys let me know in the comments, hey, you should maybe do this, you should think about this. I know there's a ton of different holes on our team. We should strengthen up our defense. We should strengthen up our goaltending position. Obviously, a couple more wingers definitely wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't hurt getting like an 87, 88 overall winger to replace Patrick Hornquist. I know this. Trust me, I know this. But I don't think we should sacrifice picks and the little prospects we have to potentially make a run in year number 1. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to move Matthew Perreault up here. Gives this line a +1, and that doesn't help out anything. But I just want to get as much line chemistry as we can going. What if I did this? Okay, it does give it a +1. We go Perreault, Stastny, Atkinson. I'm all about the line chemistry. My goal for this franchise mode is to get a +5 for the line chemistry. I know it's crazy. It doesn't happen a whole lot, but I want every line to be +5. I've had it once in my franchise mode, just an offline one. I was doing it with the Wings. I got all but one line to a +5, so that's my goal here. I don't want any +1s. I want nothing but +5s. That's going to be something that we're definitely going to need to work on. So like I said, I think we're just going to ride the wave of year number 1. Whatever happens, happens. UC Saros is actually growing. He's now 83 overall. You can see he's 14 and 16, so that's not a great record. Looks like all of our wins are coming from James Reimer, who's 12 and 5, so that's interesting. But I don't think we should sacrifice the picks and the little players we have, the little future that we have. It's just not worth it to make a run in year number 1. Now put it in the comments. Do you think Sami Niku is going to score a goal before the regular season's end? I want you guys to guess his point total. Is he going to get 6, 9, 12 points? Let me know. And the winner, I'll just shout out in a video. I don't have anything to give away, sorry. We don't got any Quebec merch yet. Guess his point total, and if you win, you get a virtual high five and a shout out in the video. Let's do a little check-in here on our boy Nasir McLeod. He's a -3, 25 points in 50 games. Definitely not terrible for a 20-year-old kid. Pretty happy about that. Obviously, getting him some help later on definitely helped, but Andreas Borgman, look at this guy, 40 points in 43 games. Not bad at all. I'm just having a look around the NHL here to see if there's any young players that teams might want to give up on early, like this guy. Maybe potentially we could go ahead and strengthen up our prospect pool. I'm just looking to see if there's anyone out there that fits the bill, someone that's good enough. Like this guy, John Morano. He is a defenseman, so that's not terrible. Wouldn't mind getting a young defenseman. That would become our second best defensive prospect. Like, we can get him for practically nothing. So, like, at a time like this, 22 years old, 77 overall, we could probably trade like a 5th and get this guy. Like, he doesn't look like he has a ton of trade value. If I threw our 5th at Pittsburgh, this just might go through. Trade rejected, so maybe not a 5th, maybe a 4th? Which doesn't seem terrible. Again, I don't want to trade a whole bunch of picks right now, but I'm just saying that's kind of something that we can look at. I want to start strengthening up our prospect pool a little bit. So if there's anyone that you guys recommend, please let me know. Jonathan Deline might not be bad. There's a whole bunch of players, but if there's anyone that you guys have picked up that maybe unexpectedly grew for you, let me know and maybe I can pick them up as well. But there's definitely some players out there, definitely not Jay Beagle or Brandon Sutter, but there is some players out there, and look who's on the trade block. Look who it is. So my thought process here is basically just ride the wave of year number 1, start building up our prospect pool. I mean, we're in a playoff position, which is great. I don't expect us to do any sort of damage in the postseason. Talk about doing damage. Gretzky, McDavid, how are ya? I just don't want to really make a panic move in year number 1, especially because really we don't have anything to give up. But McDavid and Gretzky are leading the league in scoring. That's something you thought you'd never hear. Brad Marchand, Braden Point, Phil the Thrill, Tara Vinen. Alfredson is the best rookie aside from Gretzky, but there he is, 33 goals. Bruce Legwand and Alfredson both have 59 points. So does Ward, actually. They're all tied for 59. Kyle Correa right down there. So where is Agent C? There he is. So he's got 27 goals. Here's that rookie, Paul Vincenzo, also has 27 goals. Crosby's got 27. All the good guys have 27. And again, the rookie skaters, Gretzky, Alfredson, Legwand, leading the way. Rookie goalies, just in case you guys are wondering. James Avagetti, he is 11 and 5. There you go. Cooper Nash, Nick Doan, Thatcher Demko, Iggy, Hasek, Quinn Bossy. Oh man, I'm sorry. I should have made you a defenseman. Oh man, 12 and 20, not having a good time in Long Island at all. But James Vagetti's having a good time in Tampa Bay. That's always good to see. Question of the video. Do you think Sami Niku is going to score this year? If not, how many points is he going to get? Let me know in the comments, and I think we're just going to ride this wave into the postseason. If we do good, great. If we get bounced in the first round, oh well. That happens in year number 1. I don't want to sacrifice our future, the little future that we have, the tiny trade assets that we have right now. I don't want to move them. But would it be smart to move a guy like Ryan McDonough? Is his trade value going to drop next year? Because his trade value right now is pretty damn high. Should we... Ooh, it's really high, actually. It's higher than it was before. 87 overall. I think we should move this guy now. I don't know. You guys can let me know. Once he hits 31, is he going to drop? I look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.